Hey everybody, meteorologist Jim Rinaldi here, taking a look at the system that's coming up for tomorrow night and Wednesday, and why I think the idea of it being further north and cooler is the correct one. And here we have the NAM model from yesterday at 12Z, and this is 48 hours out, valid at 12Z Wednesday. And here we have our upper level low here across West Texas, northern branch up here, and we have a confluence zone that comes pretty much right across the Mason-Dixon line on this particular run. Now let's go ahead to tonight's 0Z run. So this is now 36 hours out to 12Z on Wednesday. And a couple of differences I want to notice. One, this upper level low is a little further along. You can see that it is a little further east. It's not as cut off. There's a little bit of a cutoff trying to form here, but it's not as strong. And look what's happening here with our confluence zone. Okay, here's the northern branch, here's the southern branch, here's a confluence zone. Look where it is. It's across north central Pennsylvania now. It's no longer across the Mason-Dixon line. That's going to allow the surface pressure and the precipitation to come further north, and that is clearly reflected in our surface panels. Here's the 48-hour from 12Z yesterday, and you can see the precipitation kind of stops up here across northwestern Pennsylvania. The steadier snow is just into the Altoona State College area, up into Scranton and into the Hudson Valley. Look what happens, though, as we go ahead to this 0Z run. Look how much further north that is. Now the precipitation is getting up into New York State. The steadier precip is now up to where the end of the precip was before. So that's clearly a significant shift, and there's also more enhancement of precipitation down across here. So this is a more robust system coming up thanks to that confluence zone being further north. Now, as a result of this, as a result of there being heavier precipitation, and a more robust system, even though the system is further north, watch what's happening to this 850 line. Now, here's the old run. You can see here, you can see the border of Pennsylvania down there. Look what happens when we go ahead to the new run. It's actually down to the border almost down here. So it's actually a slight bit colder, even though the storm is further north, due to the heavier precipitation coming in and the more robust system. So this could have some surprises for us in some places as we go forward. Here's the Canadian model, the RJ model, and it's showing pretty much the same idea. Here's the this was the 12Z run. Now this is valid at 7Z, and I just want to show because it shows kind of a robust precipitation at that time, so it's a good one to show the differences in. So this is 7Z from the 12Z run. Look what happens when we go to tonight's 0Z run. Look at how the snow is expanded. There is heavier snow over a wider area, and the snow is actually a little bit further north than it was before on the Canadian. But with this cool, I wouldn't be surprised to see mixing down in here as well, even on the Canadian, due to the robust nature of the precipitation. And this is what I came up with from a map. It's posted on the wall, but here's I still think the axis of heaviest snow is going to be up through here. And because I kind of drew this map with the idea, excuse me, that it's going to be coming a little further north than the models were showing before. So I went with that idea here. Wouldn't be surprised if I see some more snow up in this region in here, you know, maybe a coating to an inch or something like that up in here. So maybe the changes I would make here would be to expand this part up here a little bit, make it a little more up there, and then maybe in turn expand this part up into here. Now, the question mark is going to be the New York City, Long Island area down across here. How much warm air is going to come in with this system? Is it going to change it to rain, sleet across here? This year, Long Island has wanted to overperform, and so I kind of went with that idea. There's been a couple times that I went with lower numbers across Long Island and kind of got burned on it because there ended up being a lot more than I expected to see. So I'm kind of going with that right now for that region. So we'll see what happens with this. But so those are my thoughts on that system. Just real quick, I want to show you something here for the Friday system. And people have been saying that, well, there's a positive NAO, so therefore it's going to go out to sea. Well, this is the time frame here of that particular storm. That is not a positive NAO. Under the bar, it's negative. And so don't be surprised if we start to see this storm inching up a little bit as we start heading towards the the time frame that this is going to be valid for. This is kind of intriguing here that not only is it negative, but it's negative transitioning to positive, which is often a signal of a storm that comes further north. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But first things first, let's get through this first storm for tomorrow and see how that plays out. But I think that we are going to see some pretty decent snow amounts. I mean, nothing spectacular, but there could be some widespread 2 to 4, 3 to 6 inch amounts with this. We'll have to wait and see. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.